Voodoo is a system born out of a theological deficiency. That is why you never hear talk about Jesus Christ in Voodoo. You will hear talk of God, the Virgin Mary, the saints, but never of Jesus Christ.
Cultural worlds collide in Haiti, modern Western culture and traditional Third World culture. Religion plays a major role in surviving with very little. Yet even here is a collision between the two worlds, between Christianity brought by the Europeans and Voodoo based on the traditional African belief system. The majority of Haitians grew up in villages just as their ancestors had before them in Africa. Today, children grow up in these same villages. Without leaving their family compounds, they learn how to play, how to work, and how to worship. The symbols of worship are all around them. Next to the entrance, a fire is lit at the altar, dedicated to the Loa Ogun, the ancestor who protects the family from enemies. A nearby cross is a symbolic reminder of the crossroads between the physical and the spiritual, where life and death meet. Eventually, the children will learn how to communicate with their ancestors in the spiritual world. Voodoo is a very personal and democratic belief. It is concerned with the rhythm and balance a human must achieve to live gracefully within his or her environment. An ongoing dialogue is maintained with one's ancestors in the spiritual world. Max Beauvoir, a well-known Voodoo priest, answers Bishop Gaillot.
Does it mean that the Africans and the blacks are not able to concoct in such a way any philosophical or theological ideas that should be considered as mature, and that they are deficient because of that? Voodoo is at least 8,000 years old, if not more, and born out of African realities. How could he carry Jesus Christ? Why did they prefer to choose that guy on the cross who look and appear so weak? The Voodoo God is presented to us under many forms. All those forms, which we call Loa, are nothing else but God in himself. And that's what the good bishop should know.
Taking the name Abuja, he returned to Haiti as his ancestor spirit had instructed him. He traveled the countryside, observing the influence of the Loa. Children learn to live in harmony with water, earth, wind, and fire. He saw how religious mythology and ritual incorporated a respect for nature. Water cleanses and cools, quenches one's thirst. It is essential to life. Superstition grew out of the necessity to preserve and protect water. The Loa Dambala is said to have brought forth the universe. After creating the heavens and stars, he took on the form of water and fell to earth, creating the rivers below, through which all life flows. Voodoo has been considered outlawed. In the past, Hungan, Hunfors, and ritual objects, such as drums, were destroyed. Voodoo was prohibited. In order to practice, the voodooists had to hide behind Christian symbols. The interior of the Hunfor walls are adorned with chromolithographs and sculptures of Christian saints.
When you think that our drums is in their church on a daily basis, that our songs are sung by them. They take the song of the Loire and turn it into Christian songs. They take our rituals and do it. They dance now the Yanvalou, Voodoo dance, into their church and cathedrals. Even the name of our God, which we familiarly call Gramet, is taken by them.
Haiti has a strong international reputation in the arts. Musicians, dancers, and artists from all over the world come to Haiti. They spend months studying the subtleties of voodoo music and mythology. Drums beat as they did at Bois Caïma and as they did in Africa before that. They call on men and women to come forth. Candles and sequined flags carried out from the altar room are ritually paraded during the ceremony itself. The flags are meant to attract the attention of the Loa as light flickers from them. The Haitian has a remarkable ability to express himself. Expressionism, combined with a deep sense of spirituality, act to diffuse pent-up anger and frustration brought on by severe poverty and an unresponsive political system. Ra-Ra is a perfect example of this combination of spiritualism and expressionism. Every year, for the 3 months prior to Easter, villages form their own small roving bands, which move from village to village asking for money, throwing powders on enemies, and dressing up to make mockery of just about everyone. All this under the guise of religion.